What I would be discussing today is more like small little hacks when it comes to sales, right? And a couple of hacks is something maybe you're already practicing, and we've obviously had a session or two before in regards to sales training and etc. But what is also very important is for you to master the art of sales as well. One thing that you need to keep in your mind, and one thing that you should have it crystal clear in your head, is that sales is the best profession on this planet. You have a doctor, he's working to earn commissions from, let's say, the insurance companies, or let's say the medicine companies that are there, and etc. You have an engineer who goes to work, and an engineer is going to work to earn commissions, right? Or to, let's say, earn a certain salary and etc. Let's say even if someone is going for a fixed job salary, right? At the end of the day, this fixed job salary also that we speak, right? If they don't go to work, they don't earn money. But from a desk job perspective, you earn a very limited income, no matter how hard you work. Whereas out here, if not today, tomorrow, your hard work, the entire benefit, will be paid off as well, right? And on that note, what I'm also trying to also let you know is that you need to carry yourself, right? And you should install this perception in your brain that sales is the best element when it comes to, when it comes to work and etc. I mean, this is the best profession to be at. All right. Number one. Number two is what I would also like to mention as realtors is the moment you get 2-3 commissions, start investing into some developments. Like Lennar is one opportunity where a lot of people could have invested. Archive is an opportunity, right? We have Raw District, which is an opportunity. Into something or the other, just put your money. Yesterday, Raja was telling me he put his money into a studio in Nashama, and it's his first investment. And he told me how is he doing it as well. You get what I'm saying? So somewhere place it. And just to let you know, Raja is making close to 4,000 dirhams net profit from that property by only paying 20% of 600,000 dirhams. Just to let you know. Okay, he's making 4,000 dirhams per month from that particular property. Right? Why? Because it's already a rented unit. He took a mortgage out of it and he's doing the needful. So this is the first thing that I want to mention, is that you should be having a property. So once you work hard towards XYZ, try to own a property for yourself. Today, if I talk to X client, and if X client is, while talking to me, this X client will definitely give me that little bit of an authority. Why? Because I already own multiple properties. Of course, it didn't happen overnight. It took some time, right? To even own my first property took some time. Then to own my second property took another 2 or 3 years. Right? And then after that, I kept multiplying it to multiple other properties. But what I'm trying to say is that to reach that goal, right, it took a little bit of time, but my first objective of what I'm just trying to mention is that try to own a property and try to install, this element in your brain that the position that you're in today is the best position that you can possibly be in, especially with the organization that we're part of. Secondly, your job is to basically sell a perception, right? And while we sell a perception, one thing that you need to have in your mind is that people that are clients, they are not buying the apartment, nor are they buying the villa, nor are they buying the townhouse. They are buying you. They are buying what you are telling them. Today, if Hussein or today, if Shika, if you have sold Walia, right? Fair enough. They know the perception and they know, okay, what is Creek Harbor. But to give that perception, that was your effort. To also let them know what was the entry point and exit point was your effort. But the main effort was what? The confidence that you both gave and the perception that you would like to share. That is super, super important as well. So that is what I'm trying to mention, that the perception is very, very important as well. That is how are you trying to give a certain perception to the very client as well, right? Then we have energy. Right? People like to buy from people like themselves. Right? For example, whenever I meet a client who's wearing a really good watch, I always tell the client, you know what, I really love your watch. Hey, you know what, I'm wearing a day date. Hey, you know what, okay, I have a Richard Mille. You know what, I traded watches too, and etc. Find out something that matches, yourself with the next person that you're talking to. There could be something or the other. Us as humans, yes, we are very different. but there's one or two elements that we do connect with. It could be love for the mother, it could be love for the father, it could be the way we've been grown up, it could be something or the other. And hence people like to buy from people like themselves, right? Then comes the frequency as well. Now, I'm a firm believer that you are the sum of the 4 or 5 people that you surround yourself with. So one thing that I am trying to also mention is I do not know what is your current frequency as of this very moment, right? Who are your friends group? What is your friends group? All of this I'm not aware. But what I am aware of is the fact that we're spending 8 to 10 hours in a day out here. So if you are spending that much of time, please surround yourself with people who are closing. I've kept a table on the left side of me which is empty. Anyone can sit there. Ijlal is now sitting there. Anyone can keep sitting anywhere. There's a table just opposite as well, right? Not all the time that person keeps coming. So anyone can sit there as well. Why? Because when you surround yourself with people who are closing, you will also automatically become a closer. If you sit if you sit around people who are not closing, forget you even closing. If you sit around people who think you are the king, forget you even becoming a superstar. Because in life there is so much to grow. So your frequency matters a lot, right? Who exactly you surround yourself with. Also, one thing that's very important is, and I've seen some meetings as well, where in sales we call this as mirroring. For example, and we spoke about it last time as well, right? Let's say Hashim right now is sitting like this. So even if I sit like this and if I go like, you know what Hashim, Archive by Imtiaz, fabulous investment opportunity. You know what? See, I'm only copying him, right?
Yeah.
You know what, Hashim, it's a great investment opportunity. Yes, you did mention there's, your budget is 1 million. It's a fabulous investment opportunity. And you know what, Hashim, that when we talk about this 1 million dirham worth of a property, you see what I'm doing, right? I'm mirroring what he is trying to do. Now, let's flip the coin, right? Last time as well I spoke about it. Hashim is now sitting very relaxed. If I sit like this, yes Hashim, you know what, you need to put your money here. Will he even feel like putting his money? No. But with the same intensity, if I sit a little bit more relaxed, like how Hashim is sitting right now, right? Like I'm sitting very relaxed like Hashim. So Hashim, this is why you should put your money. This is a great investment opportunity. 1.1 million dirhams, 1 bedroom in DLRC. Imtiaz has most of the plots out there in DLRC. They are actually playing the role of a monopoly by owning majority of the land parcel out there. They are the major market players of DLRC. Does that sound good to you? You get what I'm saying? Mirroring the person is so important, right? I'm not saying you are a smoker. Okay, tomorrow the guy says, you know what? You're not a smoker. Tomorrow the guy says, you know what, come let's have a cigarette. No, don't force yourself in that manner. But things like this, what we're talking about, that is super important. Then comes giving authority and taking authority. In sales, last time remember we had spoken about close-ended questions. I'm having a chat with the client, and while I'm having a chat with the client, when I am talking to the client and I say, okay, fair enough, we have a private investor meet. It's on Friday and Saturday. All right, I would love to know which day are you comfortable? Friday or Saturday? Saturday. Okay, fair enough. First half or second half? Okay, second half. 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock? Right? This is for someone who's a little soft and etc. You can give them a little bit of freedom because clients, right? What our job is, I'll be very honest, is to give a perception to a client, right? Making them feel that they are always an authority. But the reality is you are the one who is practicing this industry day in and day out. What you know about this industry is not what they know, right? You know the best offers, you know the best pricing, you know the developer relationships and how you could pull out a good deal. This you know. This a client will never 100% know. So not many a time clients like to feel that you are an authority. So our job is just to give them the perception that they are an authority. Now to a guy who's a little bit soft, to an investor who's a little bit soft, to them you can give them the power of choosing, right? 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock, fair enough. 4 o'clock sounds good, fair enough. Now to a guy who's a little bit straight up, right, who's a little bit straight up. Here, what you need to do is take authority. So what would you do is by just mentioning, you know what, we are hosting a private investor meet this Friday and Saturday. I would love to know which day is comfortable for you. Okay, Saturday, fair enough. You know what, I just checked my calendar. Does 4 p.m. sound good to you? Right? For some people, you need to be an authority. You need to show also that you are an authority. For someone, I mean, for certain people, you don't have to show that side. Just have to, okay, fair enough. 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock? Okay, 4 o'clock. Okay, sounds good. Fair enough. Some people, you need to tell them, listen, my calendar 4 o'clock. Does 4 o'clock sound good? Oh no, 4 o'clock is not good. No, I'm a little caught up at 4. It's not. Okay, fair enough. Okay, you know what? There's a time slot between 12 to 2-ish, right? Majority of my clients are sort of having lunch at that moment. I think that's a good time. How about I block the calendar? How about I block my calendar for you between 12 to 2? Does that sound good? Do you get what I'm saying? What is also happening is you are having a client dictate on your terms and conditions, and that is also very important, right? The reality is, if you are a top 1% realtor, you are not in need of the client. The client is in need of you because they want good service. They want, they want that respect from you. They want good service. They want the best of the best unit in any development that they enter. So they need you. You don't need them. The more you put this in your brain, right, the easier it is to succeed as well. Okay? And keeping that aside, so like I said, there are two ways: either you give authority or you take authority, right? Then comes, many a times during follow-up, a lot of clients, a lot of us, we say, okay, what are your thoughts on the same, right? Rather, in sales, we have something called as the pulse check, which we have also spoken about. The pulse check is very simple. I have shown a townhouse to Hashim. Let's say Hashim is from Pakistan, Karachi. I've shown him he lives in a massive mansion there. And then out of nowhere, I show him an investment opportunity out here, right? Which is a townhouse in the Mac Islands. When I show him the townhouse, Hashim would go like, okay, fair enough. Like, of course, in any meeting, he will just say, okay, fair enough. What is pulse check in a sales flow is very simple. I will then, towards the end, after the entire presentation and giving the orientation of the product, I will then talk to Hashim by asking just one small question. And that one question is, Hashim, I would just love to know, do you picture you and your family living here? Yes or no? Hashim says yes, he's your buyer for the townhouse. Hashim says no, he's not the buyer of the townhouse. And if Hashim says no, but I understand from an investment perspective this is fabulous, Hashim is your buyer. So with that said, pulse check is so important. And after you do the pulse check, what is also then important is to ask the client, how soon are you willing to invest a 2.5 million dirham, right? How soon are you willing to get into a 2.5 million dirham worth of an investment? Because I can picture yourself making 150% of return on equity, 200% of return on equity, 250% of return on equity in the span of the next 3 to 4 years, as the payment plan is 50-50. You know what, Hashim? Let's block it. By knowing that answer, you can then give him the authority, right, at that moment, because he has to make a decision then, right? That's when you say, Hashim, you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's block a unit. Majority of the times, what sales people end up doing is they give a great presentation. Or in real estate sales, what they do is they always use the help of a relationship manager in the developer offices, which is not that wrong. But what is also so important is you give your 100% of the presentation and A to Z and etc. Because if you do not, then the client will feel this person doesn't know anything. Right? This person doesn't know anything. Okay, no need to deal with this person. Maybe I'll deal with someone else, because there might be another broker who might give the entire sales presentation in such a manner where it is fully fit and play for that very client as well. Right? So what I'm trying to say is that this is how what you could do is at the time of closing is where majority of the people suffer. And at the time of closing, if you just follow these two questions, one question is a pulse check, and the second is how soon are you willing to see these results. And if he says, yeah, I just need to plan my finances, etc., etc., Hashim, this specific unit. So the way to sell real estate also is to pick a unit and mention in Damac Islands, there's this unit 215. Hashim, this unit 215 is very close to the park, one row behind the lagoon, and this is a fabulous unit. I just checked the inventory and there's only 2 units out here. Choice is yours, but Hashim, if I was you, I would not want to miss out on this. Hashim, you know what? Let's block this unit. That's how you take a step ahead. The easiest way to get the deal done is by always choosing 2-3 units. If it is a property which has already units, for example, Damac Islands, they have some units. So you take a unit and you sell that unit. But let's say if you are focusing on a launch, let's say a launch like Walia. So you tell the client, you know what, the 03 series, perfectly, this series itself is facing the Creek Tower and it's facing the Square Mall. And normally, the 1 bedrooms, are the back of the litter in any development. Why? Because majority of the 1 bedrooms never give you the best views. Here, 1 bedroom, ideal. There's only 1 series, only 50 floors. 50 floors, that's it. In 50 floors, there's only 50 units. But you know what, Hashim? There are so many clients who will take this unit. So our margin of even getting this unit is a little difficult. But you know what? I work for a top tier agency. I can get it done for you. If you pay a token amount as well. Many a times, even after this, clients say, I need my time, I'll let you know, Give them that space because you have done whatever you could at that moment. Then what I normally do is I always message the client again saying, can we just connect on a quick call? It will take 5 minutes. Boom, I call the client, okay, and I tell them, I've got 2 new ideas specifically in regards to the 03 series. I've prepared a small report in regards to the payment plan, the entry, the exit, and about the potential of Creek Harbor. I would love to meet you and give you these 2 new ideas, and then from there I would be more than happy to know what are your thoughts on the same. Now when you go and meet them, show them the entry, show them the exit, the potential of the location, and then tell them, you know what, this series, everyone's going behind it. Hashim, you need to book this ASAP. Many a times client just need reassurance. They do not need, many a times clients are not buying emotionally, right? And nor are they able to even think practically in nature, right? And many a time some clients also, they just buy because of FOMO. If gazillion clients are buying one product, they feel like, okay, I should also buy that one product. Right? But then in certain launches, there's not much FOMO because it just gets sold out of nowhere. That's when you need to sell the specific unit itself and the entry and the exit of that. Fair enough? Then comes, this is also one small thing that I do. Okay? So there's no name to this sales step, but I use this particular line in everything. I don't know, some of you guys who have sat in my meetings have used this line, and some people would have noticed. Like for example, let's say, Hashim, give me one objection and I'll answer it.
It's not in my budget.
It's not?
It seems expensive. Scaffold seems expensive.
Yes, and that's why. So the line that I normally use is yes, and that's why. So a sales skill at that moment, right? What am I trying to do? Is I'm not saying no, but, because when you say the word but, whatever you said before, it has just erased. Rather, what I would do is, let's say, give an objection, let me answer this.
Area is very excluded.
What?
Area is very far.
Yes, and that's why a lot of people are not thinking about it, Because in every location you have the waterfront, you have a downtown, and you have the suburban. So this suburban area is growing because of ta 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 ta. Next, throw me an objection. Hussein, objection.
Let me talk to my wife.
Let me talk to your wife. Yes, and that's why a lot of investors are thinking, to initially talk to their wife, but then you know what? This particular series number, the 03 series, it doesn't stay for very long. Right? One thing what your wife will love is after you buy this as a surprise, and your wife will definitely feel happy about this. Give me objections. Give me objections.
Let me think about it.
Let me think about it.
Most common.
Okay.
No, let me think about it separate. I'm talking about project objections.
Sharjah, I can choose something here.
Give me one by one. Okay, Hussein, give one.
It's BSF is high compared to the area.
Okay. Give specifically, get into the details a little bit. Which project, what is it? Give a little bit of all of that.
Like
Why should I invest in Lina in Sharjah instead of in Dubai?
Okay. Yes, and yes, you're completely right, Emmanuel, and that's why you should start looking at Lennar. Why? Because this is a waterfront property at 1,400 dirham per square feet. Emmanuel, where in the entire of UAE would you get a beachfront, waterfront property at 1,400 dirham per square feet? And just to let you know, Emmanuel, Queen is trading at 2,500 dirham per square feet. Would that grow? Of course it would. But it doesn't do justice to Lennar trading at 1,400 dirham per square feet, at least to not touch 2,000 dirham per square feet by the time of handover. Why? Because there's more population growth in Sharjah. If you talk about Abu Dhabi and Dubai, right, fair enough, they are 4 million each. But right after that, the second most populated city after both of them is Sharjah. Give me objections. Give me objections.
For example, my client, he said about Valia, it's gonna be a lot of construction around the tower.
Yes, and that's why, Vidit, you need to enter into the initial phase of the mall district, and that is Valia by Emaar, so you can squeeze the most out of the appreciation as well as the rentals.
But still in the valley in the future there will be a lot of more buildings will come, so it will be get oversupplied. I know how much land I can expect.
Yes, and that's why a lot of wise investors enter into a certain location, because if there is a land parcel and if that land parcel has 20 plots, if not today, tomorrow, all the 20 plots will be occupied. And when all of the 20 plots will get occupied, you are entering into the initial investment opportunity, and that is Valia by Emaar. And that is why, for you to squeeze the most out of the appreciation as well as the rentals, you need to enter in Valia itself.
Some units are different side, and the other backside views are always the objectionable. View is
Okay.
not good, always. So how to tackle that?
Yes, and that's why it's important for you to get a unit out here, because at the end of the day, if you do not even have this view, right, there are many people who they don't mind living in that view. Let's take an example, Yusol Raw district, right? If there is a unit which is facing the amenities, not everyone likes to live and basically have the view of the amenities and have people in the podium level look at your apartment. No, not everyone likes that. Some people want their privacy and they want the units behind. But they're also getting to use the amenities. And that's why there is an asset class for everyone.
If I invest in Lina, because I'm looking something there. If I invest in Lina, what is going to be what is the prospect?
See, this is a question. You can reframe your question by asking. Today the building next to Lennar for a 1-bedroom is only offering 70,000. Hari, I don't think I'll get good rent.
Okay.
Reframe your question, you can ask me the same question.
Okay. Let's say I ask you that now.
Yes, and that's why you need to enter this location, because this is the entire land parcel that is there, and Lennar is coming in this corner. There's only one building out here. There's a lot more land parcels that are empty. As these land parcels, as the supply keeps decreasing, the demand also keeps increasing for this location as well. And as the demand keeps increasing, not only the property prices jump on top, but also there will be a rental demand for the same location, as every city follows the same pattern of building something extraordinary on the waterfront, having a downtown and having a good suburban location.
Okay, now let's talk about the traffic in Sharjah. How do I conquer it if I invest in Lina? Because
Yes, and that's why you should be investing into Lennar by Aleph, because if there is traffic, there is more people who will live in your apartment. Also, if you look at Lennar and then the entire location around Lennar, all of these properties, whatever we are witnessing, is all leasehold in nature. All of these people, Sharjah is a legacy market, Dera is a legacy market. So many wealthy people are right out here, but they are not able to own their roof. Today, I am getting to own a roof. Emmanuel, are you aware there are 1.2 million cars that pass by from Sharjah and Ajman all the way to Dubai each and every day, to and fro? These people don't have a home to live. There are tons of people who are not getting a freehold opportunity, and maybe they are purchasing something in Dubai Islands. But let's say if Dubai Islands is giving me a proper beachfront 1 bedroom at 2.7, 2.8, or a water view apartment at 2 million dirhams or 2.2 million dirhams, right? I'm getting at 1 million dirhams at a proper beachfront apartment with the view of the sea and a bigger size than my competitors. And that's why, Emmanuel, you should be looking at this investment opportunity.
So I have an objection. Let's say there's, in this tower, 1,500 units are going to be, there's 1,500 units, and at the time of handover, what's the guarantee that my unit will be sold at a good price?
Yes, and that's why it's important for you to enter Lennar by Aleph, where there is 2,500 units only. Why? Because this entire location, as we speak, that's the only freehold plot that we are looking at, right? So if this is the entire land parcel of Mamzar, and this is Lennar by Aleph, this is La Plague, which is already there. There's so many more plots that are going to be there. Every city follows the same pattern of focusing on their waterfront, on the downtown, and on the suburban. And that is why you should be investing out here, because you can reap off majority of the appreciation as well as the rentals, and there will be demand towards this, because anyone who's living in Dera, anyone who is living in this side of Sharjah, right, they are not having an opportunity to purchase, own their roof by the border of Dubai and Sharjah. And that's why you should be looking at this. I am not saying no, Lennar is very good because Aleph is government developer does magic. No. Yes, and that's why.
Government developer does magic.
Tell me more through objections. Any objection?
This building has 1,500 units. How will I get exit?
Okay. Yes, and that is why you need to. Which building? Be a little specific. So it's
in Majan, Bengati offering. Bengati, which building was there? Vintage has 1,200 studios, 300 one bedrooms. How will I get exit?
Yes, and that's why you should be entering into this location, Hashim, because this specific tower that is vintage, right, is one of the initial towers well within that location by Bengati. There are still a lot more plots that are owned by Bengati, and as the supply of the land decreases, the demand of the property prices will also increase. It is guaranteed that you will have an exit by the time of handover if you would need the needful. Yes, you will have a little bit of competition, no doubt about it, but because you're entering the starting phase of Majan, you will definitely be able to get a resale done. No and but is the most words to use during a conversation with a client, because the moment you say but, everything else is erased. It's like saying Hashim says, I'm from Karachi but I have UK passport. Where is the attention on? The UK passport.
Second line.
What's the easiest way to get out of anything in sales? Yes, and that's why yes, and that's why These are basic steps that you could do in sales. These are basics, right? Last time we discussed mirroring. Last time we discussed summary. You guys are aware of summary? Any client you talk to, let's say I spoke to Hashim, right? And let's say Hashim says, yeah, I'm looking for a property, because my wife, she wants to live in a very big house, and this very big house should have a walk-in wardrobe. My school, my kids' school, whatever he'll say. I'm like, so Hashim, thank you so much for your interest in regards to Walia by Emar. And I understand that your wife really loves the 03 series in specific in regards to what we spoke to. And also you are considering the fact that you want to be very close to the school and etc. I summarize the conversation. In sales, giving the summary is also very important. Even if you have a chat on a phone call with a client, on WhatsApp, giving a summary also is a little important. So Hashim, as per our discussion, we had discussed in regards to the 03 series in Walia, overlooking the Creek Tower, as well as the Dubai Square Mall. This is a fabulous investment opportunity, and as you mentioned, you would love to choose Walia by Emaar because it's very close to the school, it's right next to the mall, and that's why Walia by Emaar is a great investment opportunity for you. Then you take the step ahead, right? We spoke about mirroring, we spoke about, you know, a summary. This is giving a summary. This is very, very important. Fair enough? These are just basic steps, and of course what we are only doing is discussing the basics, and then we are throwing some hacks here and there. Cool? In my personal opinion, sales is the greatest profession, and in my personal opinion, the money you can make from sales you cannot make in anything. The person who is having a steel factory is not having a steel bar in front of him and kissing it every night and saying I love steel. He is definitely seeing how he can sell steel and make money out of it. It's very simple.